Joining me now in the studio is Angela Diffley, our International Affairs Editor. Angela, Keir Starmer has worked very hard to build what he calls a good relationship with Trump. So the big question, of course, is this trip going to be a success?
Yes, certainly Keir Starmer has worked very hard, and as we heard there in the report, he has really raked up the flattery, unabashedly flattering Trump at every opportunity. That is what he's been doing. It has worked quite well so far in terms of delivering a trade arrangement with Britain, which is better than most other countries got. So I think he thinks it's a good strategy so far. Now, the jewel of this visit really is this billions of dollars in trade partnership between the US and the UK in quantum computing and in AI. And that was organised by the US, the British ambassador to the United States, Peter Mandelson, a very well-known figure in Britain, who was fired as US ambassador last week by Keir Starmer. And this story is rumbling on and on, because the reason Peter Mandelson was fired was because it emerged through emails that he had a very significant, strong relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, and that relationship continued, and that he advised Epstein to try and push back against his conviction. Epstein, of course, a convicted sex offender before he was found dead in jail. Now, this raises a very complicated situation. It is highly likely tomorrow, not likely today at Windsor Castle, but tomorrow at Chequers with Keir Starmer, that British journalists, American journalists, might say to Keir Starmer, how come you fired Peter Mandelson for ties to Jeffrey Epstein, and you are standing next to Donald Trump, whose cartoon were also apparently in that famous birthday book? Of course, Trump denies it, as it's all a hoax. But it will put Starmer in a very difficult situation. Trump might get rattled by any such questions, and the smooth running of this visit could be derailed by any questions around, yet again, Jeffrey Epstein on all of this. Apart from that, the visit has been organised in such a way so that it's in Windsor Castle and Chequers, which is the Buckinghamshire country residence of the Prime Minister in the United Kingdom. Trump is being kept well away from Downing Street, the Houses of Parliament, well away from London, really, so that protests will be kept to an absolute minimum, because it is, according to polls, a very small number of British people approve of this state visit.
And of course, Donald Trump's visit comes just after that massive protest through the streets of London by white nationalists who were holding placards in support of Trump, his Vice President J.D. Vance, and also the conservative activist Charlie Kirk, who of course was assassinated last week. So how does this all feed into the president's trip?
That, again, is very difficult. They, of course, J.D. Vance, Charlie Kirk, Elon Musk, none of them are on the same political lines as Keir Starmer. That is very, very difficult. And J.D. Vance in particular, and Elon Musk, who addressed that crowd via video link on Saturday, have been campaigning recently, saying that Britain is on the verge of civil war and that right-wing voices in Britain are being muzzled. This is, of course, the same as is being said in the United States. And, of course, after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, this has become a highly fraught issue. And the fact that those three people, there were placards seen with those three people quite a lot in that march. So it is to what extent people in Britain are being manipulated by money from Elon Musk's ex-business and voices from the United States, and to what extent this is a very real grievance within the United Kingdom, worries about illegal immigrants, asylum seekers. And Keir Starmer is struggling even with his own party on how to handle this. There are those within his own party who say these people have real grievances. You dismiss this march at your peril. This is not some extreme right militant rally. There are very many ordinary people attached to this. You need to listen to them. And those on the left of his party who say, call these people out, they're racists, stand up, you're supposed to be a left-wing prime minister. And he has caught even with his own party. And then again, of course, on the wider political background in the United Kingdom, Keir Starmer, although he was elected and has a huge majority in terms of seats, very many of those seats were won on a wafer-thin majority. With elections coming up, he is having votes lost to the right and the left, and he is struggling to navigate the middle. That, again, is all very awkward for him to navigate tomorrow with Donald Trump.
Angela Diffley, thank you for that.